Jammer speaking.
Shagdog.
Spitter Swallow beer review.
Spitter Swallow beer review.
We're doing Diamonds Are Forever, forever.
Ever and ever. Ever and ever.
Diamonds are forever. Pick one up and caress it.
That's Tina Turner.
No, I don't know who did Diamonds Are Forever.
Oh, you sound like Tina Turner or Phyllis Diller.
3 stars Brewery.
Yes, 84 by Beer Advocate. It's American Pale Ale, 4.5% ABV, and it's seasonal actually. So I don't know what season or anything. And it's considered, American Pale Ale. So
I don't know. This says it was canned on January 9th, 2020.
Oh, it might have the COVID in it still. The early COVID before it mutated. Look at that head. Holy shit.
I got a huge head too, and I thought it was because my cans dented up. You see,
I was pouring it the regular way I normally pour it, but
I thought it was. I don't know. Did you see it when I showed it?
No.
Let me show it to you here. I dropped it on the way.
Oh, I didn't drop mine.
See how badly dented one is?
Yeah, looks like a bit.
Once I opened it, I had to turn around and jab the lid to get it to go down.
Yeah, that's a big 4.5, 4 and 2 pinkies.
Yeah. Diamonds Are Forever was sung by Shirley Bassey.
Oh, and that starred Sean Connery, and not Charlton Heston. Charlton Heston would have been a great James Bond, though. Damn filthy, dirty Russians.
Get your hands up. They're feeding us. I don't know what that would be.
Q, they're feeding us. Yeah, you can be talking to Q. They're feeding us bullshit. Until they pry this from my dead, cold English hands, or something.
That was. I think what it should be is James Bond and Irishman as James Bond.
An Irishman?
James Bond.
I think you should do Michael Caine as James Bond. I'm James Bond. Yeah.
Michael Caine has a. I had a mix where I could do part of his voice, but unless you listen to him all the time.
You had it a couple of weeks ago that you're like on it. You're like, oh, you should do that.
Michael Caine.
Yeah, you got to hear a couple of his movies or something.
Yeah. My head is still very thick. See that?
Yeah, mine's still.
It's very hazy. Very hazy.
Very hazy. Frothy.
It's more hazy than the clown shoes.
Right. That's a weird hazy too.
It does have similar smell to the clown shoes, but that's kind of expected because it has mosaic and citra hops in it too.
Yeah.
It's
weird where it's like weird different color towards the bottom. It's like a whitish down the bottom too or something.
Yeah. I sent you another outro a little while ago too. I don't know if you got it.
A different one?
Yeah. But this is it smells. Got a nice white frothy head. Got a nice sweet floral citrus, maybe tropical.
Yeah.
Maybe some peach, mango. What do you think?
You getting some peach mango in there? Something weird, yeah, like passion fruit or mango-y. Because passion fruit doesn't have mango in it, right, or something. Is it passion fruit an actual fruit, or is it mixed? I think it's an actual fruit. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But it's got a bunch of different smells going on in there. Maybe pineapple. Maybe that's what it is. think a little pineapple sweetness there. Smell.
Maybe a little. I know it's definitely got those hoppy type citrus hops that you're talking about and shit.
Citra and Mosaic.
Yeah, most likely.
All right, well, let me give it a sip. You ready?
Yeah.
Salute.
Give it.
Wow. This is just like bland.
Is it really bland to you?
Yeah. Compared to the clown shoes.
Well, this is a regular American pale ale, not an IPA.
This is a hazy pale ale.
Yeah, pale ale. American pale ale, not an IPA.
Yeah.
So it's less on hops usually than an IPA. Yeah, I explained the same thing to you 10 years ago.
You always do.
It's confusing. IPA, pale ale.
It's good to review so everybody else knows what you're talking about too.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, it does have some sweetness and it does have those citrus, pineapple, lemon, piney flavors. But it's pretty mellow, almost to the point where it's really bland.
Well, I mean, to a typical Bud Light drinker or something that probably even P. Diddy and probably still get the gag face, you know.
I mean, I still get that dirty dish rag smell and taste, you know, that I get in these.
I think that's part of the hops or something they have in it.
Yeah.
I still like English pale ales compared to American pale ales. Like that Speckled Hen we did was great as English pale ale. They don't hop their pale ales up like they do over here in America, even with the pale ales, citrusy or whatever. But some of them do. But
funny how they're based in D.C. and they have a skull with stars on it and everything.
What's that mean?
That means they're all a bunch of satanic devil worshippers in D.C.
Yeah. All the protesters or the politicians.
All the politicians, all those people.
Including Trump.
Trump's the outsider that came in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do get that dirty dish rag smell.
Do you think the youth of today are disillusioned about what America's about?
Yeah, I think they're completely. I think they've been. All right, we're going to go off on a tangent here.
Okay.
When we're supposed to be grading the beer, but I'll go ahead and say it, and then we'll move on. How's that?
Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you right now. You had a bunch of far left wing liberal anarchists as instructors and teachers and professors teaching the kids in school right up into college and everything. And they pushed their ideals upon them. And those that didn't have a strong family unit and father and mother, or just a mother or father,
or even either
grandmother,
not even Christian, a religious, something with some morals,
and actually knowing their history. Yes, the history is brutal and bloody. America's history is brutal and bloody, but no more brutal or bloody than any other country
throughout history.
Now, America aspires to be better than what it is, and it always is. It's moving towards being.
It always has done that. It's always like, we're going to do this. We're going to be Declaration of Independence. Yeah, they probably didn't. We're thinking, we're going to include the slaves in this.
All men are created equal.
Yeah, they said that. Yeah. And maybe some of them didn't think black men were equal to.
I think back then they knew that slavery was wrong, and they knew but you see, the thing about it is that time progresses. You can't change everything, and they can't say, "Oh, we're going to outlaw slavery right now." Boom, and it's over. You know, They knew that, and they knew it was wrong, and they knew it would tear down the country. But you know what they did? They put it in the Constitution. all men are created equal.
The Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
So, being that they put those words in there, one nation under God,
One day it's all men are created equal.
Eventually, they were aspiring to being better and seeing the country become better. And they were hoping that it would become better without being destroyed by the turmoil that it was going to eventually cause.
I won't even go further into it. I would say not all of them thought that. Some of them thought that black people were not. They were like not even a lower class. It was like a different breed of human. It wasn't human.
Well,
some, not a lot, but a couple probably.
I would say they may have said that publicly, and they may have acted that way. But deep down, you see, they look. The only difference between you and them were the color and the hair, and a few facial features. Other than that, they were the same. So yes, some of them may have been ignorant and not. But I think all the people that were a part of the Declaration and everything like that, they knew deep down they're human.
How do we go? Well, we went back and past, but we're talking about now how kids are like disillusioned with history.
Well, kids are disillusioned with history because they've been taught only one side of it, and that is how bad America is.
Right, not how good America is. And it's been getting better every year since the beginning. Every year.
Yeah. We go ahead. We move ahead 20 years and then we fall back 5.
They don't even know what racism is. We don't even know what racism is, me and you, because we grew up in the 70s.
Yeah.
And we might have seen, we've all seen racism, some form or
I've seen some, and I've experienced some myself even.
Right.
But the thing is,
we didn't see nothing like the 50s or the 60s, all that was.
We never was experienced true racism and true hatred, which was back before the 1900s even.
Yeah.
And the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s might have been bad.
That's why you have some of the older black
but they weren't that bad in comparison to how bad it could have been from way back.
And that's why some of the older black people who lived through Jim Crow and that type of stuff, the 50s and 60s, saying, what are you doing? It's, we've come a long way.
Yeah, because they can see it. They experience it.
You're making race relations worse. Since Obama's been in office, race relations are getting worse. Don't ask me why or how, just because.
Trump's in office now, right?
Political correctness, I don't know. No, but I'm saying since Obama was in office is when it started getting worse.
Well, I can tell you right now, it started getting worse or whenever. All right, the election started coming up. Everybody, I feel, everybody I knew, black, white, female, and male, we were all pretty much getting together and saying, it's time to change this. It's time to I'm fed up with this shit. We need an outsider to come in, all that stuff. And then what do? They turn around and they put Hillary up there for election, which a lot of women ran towards Hillary and said, I want to see the first female president.
Yeah. And then black president, now they want a female president.
Then they turn around and they put Obama in there, and then they turn around and say, oh, I want to see Obama, first black president. So you had these people who just went off because they were black or because they were female.
Minority female.
And vote for them. Then you had people who was actually listening to them saying, you're not telling me anything any good, or you're saying change, but you're not telling me what kind of change. Explain what you mean by that.
Right.
Explain what your policies are going to be. Couldn't get it. And then Obama became president, and he had the first thing that came about was that Harvard professor trying to break into his own home, and the Good Samaritan neighbor called the police, and that police arrived and said, sir, put your hands up, and I'm getting in my home, and the Harvard professor acted like an ass.
So you got treated like one, right?
And the cop, in turn, acted like a jerk for not, in some ways.
Well, you never know. Criminals lie all the time. I live here. That's what criminals would say. Yeah.
Well, Jeff G gave you a good one.
Oh.
And so he had the first opportunity to actually set the tone for his whole presidency. But instead, what do? They asked him, what did he think? Before he knew anything about it, he goes, well, I know the Harvard professor, and I think that it's a shame that racism is still, and he goes off on calling the race card. He didn't know the facts yet.
Yeah.
And he called the race card. Then he goes to try to smooth it all over. He calls and says, hey, let's have the Harvard professor and the cop to come to the White House for a beer. Instead, he should have turned around and said, I'm not bringing the professor in, and I'm not bringing in the cop. I bring in the Good Samaritan, because he was watching after his neighbor's property, and he was trying to do the right thing. I'm having him over for a beer.
I understand what you're saying there, but the president should have gotten involved in that shit anyway or not.
Well, if he's already involved, instead of calling them over, he should have called the Good Samaritan.
Well, he should have got involved anyhow. That wasn't a big issue.
No.
Yeah, maybe.
But he made it a big issue, and he set the tone. And from that point on, it went downhill.
There's people all over that get falsely accused of breaking their own house, probably.
I agree with Jeff when they say America needs more than one of the two parties.
Matter of fact, I think you shouldn't have any parties. You should just go on your own merit and what you believe in. And these are what I'm running for, and this is what I believe. And okay, and what are you running for? But I think there should be more than two.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting at. I mean, out of all the millions of people that are in America, we only have two parties to represent them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, more than that, but there are only two that are really getting.
Yeah, two viable parties. It's the truth is, if you decided to run tomorrow, Shagdog, you could not win.
Right. But the big thing is,
you don't have the backing and you don't have the exposure.
Right. But one major problem is, only reason I like two parties is because, like with what's Ross Perot.
Because it's better than one, right?
Ross Perot took votes away from George Bush against Clinton. No doubt about it. Same thing that they say with Kanye. If he runs, he's going to be pulling votes away from Biden. I know, but if he did, he's got about 10,000 black people are going to vote for him. They're going to pull 10,000 votes or however many. But people are like Kanye West, Well, I like Kanye. And people are dumb. I even see people on Facebook like, yeah, I'm going to vote for somebody else besides Biden and Trump. Why? Because that doesn't even – you're just pulling votes away from one of those two.
The ones that are really stupid are anybody but Biden or anybody but Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, really? You're going to pick anybody?
Yeah.
Why don't you actually look at their merits and what they did and everything they have accomplished?
Right.
I mean, if you look at Trump and everything he has accomplished, you would have to say, man, he's done more than most people in that office in the first 3 years.
And I even like that more than two-party thing. It's not parties, but, okay, give us our 12 best candidates and let them have almost like a tournament vote. Like, okay, almost like
you wouldn't be able to get into the debate because you don't have enough people backing you. So they exclude you from the debate. That's not fair.
Well, that's not fair, yeah.
Because why? I don't have enough money. I don't have enough. That's the whole reason why I want to debate you is get my views across and have exposure to people. That's the whole point of the debate, for people to hear your views. So if you're excluding candidates and narrowing them down to only two parties, then that just screws it up for anybody that's trying to come out of the woodwork.
I like that. Say all these 10 candidates that ran for the Democratic Party, say Trump, and even if anybody else wants to come from the conservative side goes against Trump, I say they all give a mishmash. You got 20 of them, and you just keep voting down, just like with those primaries. All right, those two suck. Get rid of them. Okay, we want these 10 out of the 12. Okay, now these two suck. Keep going till you really get down to the best two, yeah.
I cannot believe this shit. You pulled me off on this damn ass road.
All right, I give it a
20 minutes into it, And now we're finally grading the beer.
Hey, if you want later, I could delete that whole section out, and it would be graded in like 10 minutes.
Oh man. This is actually not a bad. It was very easy drinking. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's not bad. Smooth, easy for
And for what it is,
American Pale Ale.
so what are you giving it, Shagdog?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a B plus, but a swallow and a quarter.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking to myself, I was debating B plus, and then I already had in my mind Swarter,
Right.
because it's so easy to drink, and it leaves me wanting more.
That's why I told her.
Yeah, B plus.
That's
Yeah.
Leaves her. Leaves her.
So let's try not to be so political on the next.
Yeah. I didn't want to go so far in depth, but you just went all the way through history.
Well, you dragged me on. I was trying to cut it off and by saying one thing, but yeah, you just pulled it. You're like an interviewer. You're like, and why did you do that?
I told you the other day.
What makes you feel like you should have done that?
I told you the other day I was an
Do you
attacker.
think that your past history when you were a little kid and
When you're molested by the Jehovah's Witness or whoever the Catholics, Jehovah's Witness.
no worries, Jammer, enjoy the talk. Yeah.
I ever tell you a time when we first moved down here to Florida. It had to be our first or second year down here, but Jehovah's Witness. I lived with my parents because I just got out of the army, the year before or whatever, a year or two before. But Jehovah's Witness comes to the door, and there's a guy and there's this girl, and she's fucking hot. And they're giving me pamphlets why you shouldn't believe in Christmas and all this shit. It's not, or you shouldn't believe in Santa Claus, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I was like, oh yeah, it's hot, girl. Anyhow, they came back to the door. My mother saw the stuff. Where'd you get this from? I was like, oh, these people came to the door. And she's like, what? So about a week or two later, they come back and I said, oh, so Jehovah's Witness or whatever. She's like, you stay here. She answered the door. She's like, we're Catholic. We believe in Santa Claus. Don't come. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, Mom.
That's amazing how a little horn bag will make you want to convert.
Right. It's just like the other time I did that girl you went to high school with. Her brother was a Catholic priest over here.
Oh, Shagdog.
Yeah, I came home. I was like, hey, Mom, did you know where you been? I stayed at the girl's house. I said, did you know that her brother is a priest over at your church? She's like, oh, Shagdog, you did it. I was like, yeah, I did. Like it's a mortal sin to have sex with a priest's sister or something. All right. That was funny though. I can't remember her name to this day, but
Betsy.
Yeah, I think I see her on these dating sites once in a blue moon, but
Betsy, Sandra.
Yeah, I'll ask my mother the priest's name. Then you probably remember because her brother must have went to Pasco too. Then, right?
Probably if he was older, he probably a few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was funny. That was funny because you were bad. But you know what? The whole Catholic thing, the whole Santa thing, and all that stuff. Yeah, Santa, and the Christmas tree. Those are all pagan stuff. But
Yeah. Well, there was a Saint Nicholas, but yeah, I can see that. But it's good for the kids, because it's like you better be good if you ain't gonna get shit for Christmas. You better behave all year long, right?
That's just a technique for parents to brainwash their kids.
Right. It
and
works.
To believe in something in
works
order to get them to be good.
It used to work up back in the old days up until they were 9, 10, 11. Now it works to about 4 or 5.
Well, it might even work on some until they're about 15 because they're so out there.
Yeah, that's true. But they believe in Harry Potter. Well, Santa must be real too, because Harry Potter's real.
Well, Harry Potter is a warlock.
Right.
Oh, well.
I don't know any spells. Yeah.
If I did, I'd be rich and I'd have all kinds of money, women hanging off of me.
Oh yeah.
I would specialize in seduction spells.
Yeah, seduction spells, how to rip people off spells.
Just the seduction spell would get me everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I would get the girls, and then I would turn around and be able to get the money from the girls. If
you get the rich girl, any rich woman you want.
Exactly.
Seduction, hey. And then she'd be like, I'm so.
Yeah, I say that stuff, but I couldn't morally do it.
Right. Okay, I could.
I mean, I could. I mean,
don't get me wrong. I wouldn't feel good about it, but I would do it, and I'd feel guilty about it.
About what part? Taking the money or taking the girl?
All of it. I'd feel guilty, but I would love it.
I would feel guilty, but I would love it. I like that. There's your new catchphrase. I feel guilty, but I love it.
I would hate it, but I'd be like, wow, this is working at least. I feel bad about doing this, but hey, it's my power. What can I do? It's my God-given gift. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Went down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Hey, you didn't ask me about the word I used.
What word?
Hornbag.
Yeah, what was it?
You didn't understand it. You just went with the flow.
I don't know what it is.
I said you saw a real hornbag at the door and you were ready to convert.
What the hell's a hornbag now?
A hottie.
Where's the hottie at? Oh, the hornbag at the door. Yeah, I wasn't ready to convert to Jehovah's.
It's an Australian phrase for a real hot looking chick,
Man, two girls this past couple of weeks. The one I dropped off a bottle of wine to today, delivered a bottle of wine to her. That's it, bottle of wine. She was a hottie, probably about 30 years old. She had a little bulldog too. Came out. Bulldog was nice. Didn't bite me. And then the one over here. As a matter of fact, I remember where she lives. Probably shouldn't say that. I probably shouldn't remember where she lives, but I do. But I dropped off a delivery to her one time a half ago. She's a little hottie. And when I gave her the bag, I swear to God, she went like that on my hand to grab the bag.
Well, that's imagination.
No, she touched me.
It's good to have imagination.
Tell you what, next time
she touched me.
One of these nights you're off, afternoons you're off, you go with me. And then if we get to
touch me,
you can go out and do the delivery for me, and you can see if she does the same thing.
She's probably blind, and she was just going.
She's like, probably.
And you're getting all hot and bothered by.
Happens.
That's why she had you deliver it, because she can't drive and
Yeah. Oh, she's got to have a boyfriend. She's like Hispanic, but the order comes up under Demetrius. I'm sure her name is. Well, it might be Demetrius. She might be Chopper.
Are you ready for another beer? Let's get moving because it's getting late.
Let's do it. I'm ready. Don't take too long getting in. I'm going to put it up quick.
All right. Great.
All right,
that's what she said.
Right.
I'm going to get it up quick.
All right. Well, I'm Shagdog.
I'm Jammer, and this is another exciting episode of the Spitter Swallow.
What was it? The Spitter what? I cut you off.
I said it, and it went through.
No, I hit the music thing.
The Spitter Swallow beer review.
All right. All right,
so much for an outro.
Yeah.
All right. Come along
For our next one. About 2 minutes, y'all. I'll have it uploaded.
Yeah.
One of our viewers don't you afraid we'll be back in time?
Yes, he'll actually put the video up real fast because this time he's not going to fiddle around with the computer.
All right. Bye-bye.
See ya.